Yeah. Take a seat. We are about to begin. Let's speak not only. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا رب. Requested everyone to take a seat. Like to thank two organizations today. One is ISCN for being such a gracious host to the amazing setup, organization, so from our field for being our special sponsors. Thanks very much. We'll get a chance to hear more from Melody and step that they're really more than like towards return. So present Islamic society of England are most evil believers. Assalamualaikum sisters, Assalamualaikum. Aku baca selesai kan. At one time, several now came from my background. you know, because the Zion, even the buyer, people, when there's new challenges, just like you're I'm going to customs or national bank and beyond bachelors, where for about you middle school, you would travel since next door, you have. Some, I know a few folks to the stream, inshallah, they can benefit from this listening into the conversations that are taking place today, but I want to just underscore how important it is for us to be present in person, not only for the sake of the world, but for the sake of being able to reunite with one another and to continue a sense of community, not only that things and relationship over. So especially that of the way the church on the calendar today, as we look at seeing the year, willing to extend a lot of people to involve in elections, so, fear of the government positions. Okay, I'm going to read these, the organizations for which, have not one much presence, there was not much need to be present. And you can not hear values, with me through resolutions, because I would say some use access time for me services, which, landmark of these presence. American was American always fun. This stomach says that both around, travel, and that's the, we have another Charlie Rally Islamic Center. For center, having Islamic Center, if there really Institute of Knowledge, Ecole Academy of Masters, Islam LA, Islamic Center of Vermont, Islamic Center of Claremont, Islamic Center of Canada Valley, Islamic Center of Glendale, Islamic Center of Fountainville, Islamic Center of Bethel, Islamic Center of England, Empire, Islamic Center of Irvine, Islamic Center of Sydney University or online, Islamic Center of Santa Monica, Islamic Center of South Bay, Islamic Center of Temecula. Sure. Islamic Center of World, Islamic Community Center of Red Rooms, Islamic Institute of Orange County, Islamic Society of Orange County, the Islamic Society of West Valley, Jaffa Islamic Society, Lands of Light, Life for Relief and Development, Masjid al-Sharif, sorry, Masjid Jibril, this is the word over here, of course, Masjid Lamaraba, Masjid Qurba, Masjid Salim, Masjid al-Taqwa, in San Diego, Mass Prayer, Method, Impact, Muslim Mortuary Cemetery, NASA, which is a new organization, CIM. Sure. Okay, thank you. I'm sure you're checking, I just didn't get a chance to update my list. Orange County Islamic Foundation. Money Appeal, USA. Rahma Center. Sarah Homes. CMCO. CR SNR. Facility Islamic Center. Vermont Community Clinic. Liberty Central, Santa Clarita. Uplift Channel. And West Coast Islamic Society. It's nice. Thank you so much. Both of it. And I'm just doing a quick tally of the numbers. Rest. So, sufficient for the call. Especially when the meetings involve voting certain matters. In today's agenda, we went matters to be voted upon, but I just want. Yes. Thomas, anything about it? Thank you. Appreciate that. One for instance. The government changed the approach, but again, this is a little reason why it's important for our organization to maintain active participation of the members. Yes. Where's it up here? Where's it up here? I didn't follow you because we're already counting. Okay. I think that's as far as the will call is concerned. You have the minutes to your packet from the last meeting, which was. If you can take a look at the minutes, if you have a chance to scan them, to reflect on what was discussed in the previous general body meeting. If there's any quantification, correction that needs to be made, please let us know at this time. And so we have a motion to approve the minutes. Just up to a little bit. Yeah. So I'm right in terms of the discussion about forum. In most organizations, quorum is 50%. According to the Shore Council, quorum is 25%. So therefore, in this case, you have quorum, should there be able to vote on anything, but vote first, which should be rewarded. Alright, so please continue to review the minutes. You want a motion to approve? Um, the motion was initiated by Rusty without limits. But I'm more like the second the motion. So, Colonel Wallace. Second, Adrian. For all in favor? Who's raise your hands as a signal? All opposed? Motion carries. We'll document it as such. Thank you. Since I'm about clear, put over here. Okay, so other than that, we have, um, accomplished the core. Inshallah, we'll have a short, chair seconds, we may have informed, Sister Dina, who will not join us, as the chairperson of, the short council, due to some prior engagement. So inshallah, we will be, today's, proceedings as the vice chair. Will be, joined by, my colleagues in the board. To the address that basically I wanted to mention some of the key events since the last General Assembly that have happened in Southern California, in our community. Some events that deserve recognition and acknowledgement. I would like to start with the community toy drive that has become the largest toy drive for the underprivileged children run, by other, where several hundred families are served. That was a very good event that deserves our appreciation. We had several Eid celebrations, amazing Eid celebrations, very large scale, smaller scale, very well organized. The families enjoyed it and found it very beneficial. Um, yeah, in the community for social connections, and basically to have a very nice time. Some of it that are like part of this day, feel free to chime in. First one is the Summit Central and they had a very good celebration. They invited us to see us well. The Turkish also general had a big celebration at the concert, and the residents actually of the concert. They had invited a leadership. This has been going on for a while, but it has gotten more popular and community users. And then we'll have a very successful celebration by myself, Islamic Society of Orange County. Uh, the public and a lot of people attended that. And then we had the chairperson council meeting at the Milesburg Park. That has a very popular event with a lot of vendors and a good time that the community had. And then there was another event which was not in Southern California, but in the day was the first time IGNA had their West Coast Convention. IGNA has been doing their conventions for more than 50 years, mainly in schools. This was the first time we had a record registration and they go over 3,000 people in attended, which was huge, which was the largest gathering for the Bay Area, and amazing lineup of speakers. Shura was there. Uh, we had the summit in Malaysia called the Prophetic Strategy Site, where a couple of people, Dina, as well as Brother Yasser, who was a board member, had the opportunity to participate and attend. This is the third year that it's being done where leadership and activists from all across the world are invited for 2 days summit and really focus on our uh, in terms of their experience and draw a lot of great ideas and connections that shall ensure us. Islamic Relief Cruise for us was a unique event. We enjoyed that as well. This was a cruise that was organized by Islamic Relief to support their relief programs. There were a couple of learning banquets to support learning's domestic projects, as you know, is shelter and several food banks that are being run by learning in Southern California, a couple of counseling centers, free clinic, and so on. There was a unit clinic that was also organized in several organizations to work together. There was Care Valley Banks. Uh, Care Valley is one of the newest chapters of Care in the Valley, and they organized banquet to support care programs. One unique event that was organized by Shura Council was the Razak Task Force strategy summit. Uh, One of the important questions that was being asked for the last 1 year was what the Southern California community can do, can contribute, can support uh, for our brothers and sisters who are suffering in Gaza. So, one decision and one way where we can get to know is community the organizations, connecting the athletes, connecting the leadership together, bringing everyone together to know what everyone is doing and to understand what we would like to keep an eye on our resources, what is something that can be achieved, what we can accomplish, and provide a little more structure to our efforts. Now, during the summit, we were able to identify key areas, or so many areas which we can also pursue. Where we have set up teams and teams or organizations and actors who will be working on these areas. Inshallah, when we are more on this, we have a section on the summit overview and recap. Another unique and significant event was the Women's Conference. It was called the Gender Institute Women's Conference. This was something that United States Council of Muslim Organizations sponsored, USCMO, we are a part of, and this was a very successful event. One of the first events that was entirely organized, attended, speakers were all our sisters, and they're very prominent. Uh, the economics really thoroughly enjoyed, and hopefully this would become an annual event in Southern California. Now we had successful and well-attended Shia Muslim Council banquet. Uh, they had a chief guest, famous journalist, Mandy Wilson, and the attendees were treated to very insightful updates the media itself and especially related to Gaza and other activism. So that was a unique event. And last month, but the least, last weekend was the, or actually, I think 2 weekends ago was the IGNA Greater Los Angeles chapter fundraising banquet. So where over 300 people attended to support IGNA's local projects. With that, I would like to mention about a few events or few significant items from Shura Council itself. The first and foremost, which you will again hear more about later, is our 30th anniversary day, where we will be appealing all of you to support the event by giving take on behalf of your organization. Uh, Sponsoring the event, we have different packages for sponsorship. You may have already received phone calls, emails, uh, and request all of you, all of you to do your best to support this unique opportunity. This is the 30th year. Also, it's been an amazing 20 years of history. Through a council, we'll be doing uh, lot of segments like producing in video for content. And inshallah, today we will have an opportunity for the leadership to report their thoughts for that video as well. And then moving on to the executive director search. So we continue to search for an executive director for the Shore Council. Budgeting is still a challenge, which hopefully we will be able to figure something out in the third year support in not just appealing for donations for Shore Council for this specific project, but also to identify anyone in the community that can serve as an executive. One big challenge for us has been the building loan payoff. Alhamdulillah, we were able to accomplish a lot by paying off several loans in the last 5 years that we had purchased our property. But we still have a lot of fundraising to do, a lot of items to take care of, especially we have the students need to have the loans where that we need to address. We'll hear more about it, inshallah. We have a lot of use, as you know, in our property, we have opportunity for several offices and presence. So we have a new tenant this term, inshallah, which is Manara West, formerly NSA West, and we appreciate that and welcome them as our neighbors, your property. And I believe we still have more space available. Please do get in touch with Visual Foundation and see if anyone in the community, especially Islamic organizations or anyone in the community can say space, we can be make that available, inshallah, and improvement sure comes. With that, I conclude the chair members, and then there's one entity within Shura Council that I would like to mention, which is the Muslim Speakers Network, MSN, which is an amazing project of Shura Council that was brought under Shura Council about 8 or 9 years ago. And since then, they have been doing a lot of work in presenting Islam in educational institutes, in law enforcement, universities, and so on. One event recently that was coordinated was the visit from by students of Biola University, a well-known university, to Islamic Society of Orange County in Garden Grove. This month to observe Juma and learn. One interesting survey that was done that out of the 84 students attending, which was 34 men and 50 women, only 2 have ever met a Muslim in their lives. Now, being in the community for us, it's hard to grasp that. We assume that the larger population just somehow have met Muslims, have learned about Islam, but we forget that we are only less than 2% of the population. 98% most likely have never schools, like in this case. Biola University is a well-known university. It is in the heartland of Southern California, surrounded by over 180 Muslim Sajid, Salwas organizations, about half a million Muslim population. They have so a lot of work to do for our organizations in our membership as well as in Muslim. And then the Islamic civilization presentation that MSN does to seventh grade students has been very, very successful for many years. They have developed a very good curriculum. So I urge all of you to see if the schools in your neighborhood, public schools, private schools, charter schools, can help, where you can help organize a presentation of Islam in those schools. These are very qualified presenters. The syllabus has been done many, many times. There's no problem with that. In November, inshallah, we have presentation at Twinkle Middle School. Over 400 students will be attending those presentations over 7 different periods. So request you to help us organize more such events. So inshallah, with that, I conclude the chair's address. One small announcement, brother Dawood, so, who's representing HAL on the Shura Council board, will not be attending. He's our treasurer of the board. He had a family emergency. So we will be presenting the financial report. It is number 6 on the agenda item, and page number, say, right after page number 3. So 4 and 5, I believe. So you have the financial report. I request you to take a look with this. If more, if you need to, look at that and see if you have any questions. Myself and Brother Munir here, or anyone from the board will try to answer any of those questions. If not, we will take those questions and make sure those are answered. This does not require any voting at this point. This is only a report that is being given to the general membership. It has the expenses broken down into several categories, and then also the revenue as well, which is in the next page. So please take a look at that. In the last quarter, the total expenses have been over 35,000. In the revenue has been close to 40,000. And of course, the shortfall is made up our previous fundraising, previous year. So anyone here? It's just one. Yeah. I apologize. I didn't give you a chance for Q&A after the chair's report, but please go ahead. I'll give you take questions for the treasurer report of the chairs. Please.
In one of the previous meetings, when the topic of the executive director came up, Dr. Sabo had made being the interim executive director. Did the Shura Council accept that offer? Is that in place? Or what's the status of that? The very generous offer for Dr. Sabo to
So yes, sure. Also did discuss that. We had several meetings with Dr. Sobo as well. At the end of that, the conclusion was the urgency of his skills, his experience is for the fundraising of the building. So he has agreed to lead a team of the committee of board members. There are a couple of board members identified where he'll be leading that with the primary aim of paying off the bill. And we thought from his experience and his connections, that would be area well served. And once we are able to pay off, having ED will be much more easy. So that was the conclusion of the meetings. And inshallah, we are going to begin that work as soon as possible. Yeah.
Just to piggyback off what Councilor shared, so the role of the executive director is not to oversee a broader scope of activities, including some of the programming that was discussed, some of the outreach, some of the meetings, the presence, representation on behalf of the collective membership. And so we're still considering how we can recruit an individual who is positioned for those functions, rather than bogging down Dr. Sobel in those functions. As Wakas said, seeing if he will and he is interested in contributing to the long-term sustainability section, which is predominantly a financial consideration. That doesn't necessarily have to be designated as an executive director. So those are some of the discussions, but certainly we welcome his support and involvement and to work with him to pursue those particular goals.
To require budgeting, and currently we don't have budgeting in place yet.
So, we have a 30th anniversary banquet coming up, which is obviously going to be a very important event. One, because it's the 30th anniversary, will provide an opportunity to have a little bit more introspective on communities development over the decades. And, as with most organizations, it is the annual opportunity to raise sufficient funds to maintain operations for the coming year. So we welcome everyone's support in that regard. Part of the objective as well is to raise more funds to at least initially seed an executive director position, either part-time or full-time, depending on how successful we are. But that is our intention, so that we can move to the next step where we can have somebody in the seat at least to take on some responsibilities, which we know are necessary to be undertaken. Which for the time being, many of the board members have taken on along with the existing staff to sustain the normal routine activities of the organization. But we do hope to post an executive director job announcements once we feel confident that we have enough funds to support it, and not on the carpet, of course.
Two quick things. One is, since I did not mention much about our other important project, which is the prison outreach program. As it is commonly known for the last 15, 20 years. Please support that program. Is eligible. There have been decisions in the general body to support that program. We have representatives here from that program, and please see whatever you can do, not just financial, but also in terms of networking and in terms of promoting that program here as well. One, yes, I would also like to acknowledge today is Brother Niaz from San Diego is visiting us, if you can raise your hand. So he's the president of North American Indian Muslim Association, the largest association of Indian Muslims nationwide. We have a Southern California chapter or California chapter as well. He's the national president. This is his first year as president. And we welcome with that, if there are no more questions, we can move to our next program. I think he's ready to take that.
my dedicated person, this is responsibilities and on play for within organizations. You know, okay, over time, you know, saying that the jet care of the council is very kind of scattered around. That's been confirmed. And I personally feel to meet the goals and objectives of the Sugar Council on the basis on which it was established. We will get to have a dedicated individual, not somebody with a, I love Dr. Sobo, you know, with all my heart. He's a wonderful brother, but you cannot have somebody spearheading this organization whose responsibilities are split. And I think you should consider that very, very carefully. And because I personally feel at this time that I mean, we have been a very prominent member of the Share Council. Right now, I'm confused as to where we are headed without a leadership. You know, so it's kind of like having a ship on ocean, you know, captain. So please consider that, and also can you give us a little synopsis of what the executive director requirements of the job description, just a quick synopsis of the whole thing, so if I know somebody, then I can tell them these are the responsibilities. If they are qualified, if they can, then they take the accept the responsibilities. Thank you. Something like that.
So thank you for that input. I think that aligns with the conversations that we've been having internally. You know, with the call, with community group, the scope of the position requires somebody who can be dedicated to that position. In terms of what is the job qualifications for executive director of the Shore Council of Southern California? I think you can all imagine that that would have to be somebody with a significant amount of leadership experience in other nonprofit organizations or in other capacities. Somebody who also can engage the community at large, visit the different research organizations, maintain and cultivate those relationships, have a good solid foundation of Islamic knowledge, perhaps have the ability to give khutbahs and the different masajid to represent our interests as a Southern California Muslim community to the media, to law enforcement, to other institutions, to participate in political gatherings in a way that demonstrates the sophistication of our community. So I'll stop there, but I think, you know, it's a significant position that has to be compensated at a significant level, which we are certainly capable of as a collective community. So finding that particular community is feasible, I believe, but it's not a simple one either. So we will go through a process, inshallah. The board, as it continues into the next year, inshallah, will have the opportunity to evaluate those candidates should they come forth once we are ready to issue the job announcement.
Give more details if you want. They are mentioned in Article 9 of our bylaws of the role of the in short, it is basically to supervise the office staff and act as a general manager, reporting to the board. And day-to-day affairs, including managing the budget, and, raising the funds, organizing different events, coordinating between the organizations and so on. Hopefully that answers this question. Any other areas?
Is this something like
Q&A, session.
maybe that you asked too much about discuss about this as an issue? I mean, they really stuff, great. Last, so now you read it. And one person comes, so my money is whoever started it. I would request that person to take that the credit. Mashallah, the allows me, when we have some, we must know about the experience, that you have to have some kind of skills, do something that opportunity is kind of, you would like that, and you don't have to get $7,000 a year from. If you were to constantly find doing that's good. Work.
Benefit of role model, I like to repeat the question, basically for the areas. The Mr. is suggesting to start out with a lower compensation. Executive director doesn't have to be, doesn't have to hold only job description, that job description, but at least start somewhere. That's the feedback actually. Yeah, I think that's a very good feedback. Yeah, and we totally agree with that. We can probably have a simpler job description, smaller compensation package that suits our budget, and we can start working on that issue. So that could be. Another- Putting it in the notes. This sister.
We kind of almost regularly want to selection of the PCB. Because it's going for the gate, then it's not successful. And
Sure.
all that's about it, right? So that's what I mean. It's going to be the one. It's better to be, I mean, it's going to be.
So Sister Shasta from Florida is suggesting or recommending putting a headline on this. So what I would think is this will definitely be added in our next board meeting, which will be, I think, no, that was still one. But the board meeting will be much sooner, inshallah, 1 or 2 days or something like that. Uh, and we can decide on the budget and the job description and probably make some kind of announcement or the initial announcement in the next general one. Does that work? Well, this is the first.
Yeah.
Consideration is to start a specific fundraising for that position and not some very low level because then you end up having just an office staff. So have a proper ED, but focus on it. It's a good suggestion to that. All of the slide. Can you hear me now? Yeah, something like this. Okay, one of the suggestions that I we developed, I've seen over the years, keep bonds. So we kind of go progressively go through the same cycle. We get EV, then you execute some of the goals at some level, then it's down to the last bit where it's not great to go fund the program fund. Just for sustainability. At some point as a board here, my suggestion would be to we get a commitment possibly from people from fundraising for positions that not be part of the step. That is not on this actually to execute what the community do. What the sure cause is actually supposed to be about the record. That not be something where we set the law, where however that is to go. So we can actually get some outcomes. We can actually get some direction, we can actually get some goals set other than at the end of the year, the last quarter, well, is on finance. That's what's happening. right? If you take a look at industry very well. And so this CERT is something much bigger than just that. Because the presence here, just 30% that's here. No, it's not important. I think that's the reality that's starting to happen. So that's just my, you can at least just get that home, or maybe there's 2 or 3 years worth of funding, whether it's 8,000, 9,000, however, let's figure out the numbers. So that we get some continuity with that, the whole conference, and actually bring the community collectively together. So it comes higher up, we should usually have a 5-year plan, 3-year plan, it doesn't include the man or the person worrying about. I think the rest of you are not sorry, that's we'll take 1 or 2 more on this topic, let's get good feedback. Discuss it intensively. Further, guys.
Going back to the, it shows what people think. You better, you're gonna be very. Anyone else? Have we done decisions? Yeah, probably problems here. Have we done past assessment about the continuous numbers with these?
We have already done so several years ago. If we're
I don't know, another one, maybe someone was like that.
Staying with the current status, and probably that's not going to be a solution necessarily. I mean, it's a nice bump. But we have a strategic plan to raise funds or to raise funds of raised apart from the membership dues, to which we will be rolling out Shell. One of those examples is sort of the general body meeting, which comes with a certain sponsorship costs and other sponsorships. For our Gala, for example, which we'll be talking, which is helpful. It's important and it's helpful, but we have other ideas as well that are being inshallah implemented in the coming months so that we will, apart from the issue of the EV, which does need to be solved, will also provide us additional revenue streams that will not be hopefully a burden on membership person.
Oh, thank you. What about the council about strategic plan?
That's the we trade over this year, so that's the plan.
So there's a 3-year plan in place for $500 a year, 2-year gosh. Next, my other questions, second question, I know we just finished our executive director hiring process, it took a very long time. I think processes has been loyalty at minimum 6 if you're elected. So I think you should have come to take a minute, especially for council, it's a very unique organization, it's gonna need a very unique person. And so it's okay if it takes a while. I agree with the brother in terms of doing certain things around like having smaller, maybe contract level roles where, you hire someone for 10, 15 hours a week, maybe to develop a person initially that I go for an AD or just a manager that I can probably see. But I was gonna say, if you did have an opportunity for higher time, we're primarily limited. Right now, we actually do not rely very much on community donors. We're trying to build up community donations at the moment, but from my experience with Shura, I think Shura has the potential to be more grant funded. I'm happy to explore that the $15 was last year now, but there are a couple of grants I think like full for Shura could potentially be used towards either not necessarily specific, but those roles that come into the EU role. So just to remind me, we will talk to you guys afterwards and you what those foundations could be, which is again video I think honestly foundations are more reliable than from the community. And that's the
We definitely need it. So that I think we have to. Please go to the. Yeah. So, very with message.
Jazakumullah khair, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us with the opportunity to be good together, to represent our people. However, I spoke before about this issue. The issue is not an executive member, somebody will be vacated. The issue is each one of us supposed to be an executive member. Each one of us should take the initiation to come out of the box, out of shit, and become the executive member. My dear brother and sister, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us so much. And our problem is we're trying to limit ourselves to the limit that we put to ourselves. If our community keep giving for the sake of Allah, Allah will make the community rich. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give a gather billions of dollars and make it super rich, Allah's giving us a message. He's telling us, if this money doesn't even recognize me, look how much I gave him. You recognize me, you believe in me, and the Quran, I promise you that the business with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never get lost. There is no mal, naqas, and sadaqah. So if we try to learn first ourselves, that we believe that if we can give more for the sake of Allah, individually and as a community, we will grow in the right direction. But the fear that we don't want to exhaust our community. My dear brother and sister, exhaust your community, kill your communities with sadaqah and ask them to give and give. You know what? Because Allah will make them rich. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them rich. But to be a gatekeeper and say, you know what, I'm taking care of my masjid and I cannot exhaust them with fund after fund after. Wallahi, wallahi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything He said to us in the Quran, it is true. I have no problem that each masjid will get $5,000 instead of 1,000. Is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gonna make you lose 2,000? Absolutely not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make your community rich and will give more to the masjid. So the more people that they will give, the more people will be rich, and the more people will, the same people will give more to the masajid, that the masajid are afraid of having so. So please, let us try to find a way to be that we are the missing circle. Let us try to be kind of having some great courage to go strong for the sake of Allah without boundaries, without fear. And then Allah will support us because we are the better. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, you see now that what's happening in America, it's going completely in the opposite direction. We need to be strong. We need to take initiative to be, 100% for the sake of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you development. That we focus on for that reminder. Appreciate the what's on the mind is the abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. And that's morning and introduction. Thank you for reminding us of that. It's so really important. You know that Allah's blessings will overflow, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amin Nutfe. I'm the executive director of Rapid Muslim Outreach for Rome for short. Thank you, brother, for a great speech. Thank you very much for a great speech and a reminder. One of the suggestions I've had, since there is an issue with the budget, how about the board starts with an outreach person who does a lot of the things that the brother mentioned as far as meeting each imam in different masajid, working in the community, becoming more visible as part of Shura, and then we do a fundraising for the executive director. We can show a track record of 3 to 6 months of achievements and then show a roadmap and a necessity why we need an executive director to take us to bigger roles. Thank you.
Any other questions on the treasurer's report, or any other items? The chair's, address? If not, we can move on to the next item. Like to welcome, please as well from our President Outreach Project, please do connect with them. And, he has an amazing team with them, they're doing great things. And, they're looking for networking with, in such a mission.
We're going to show you a video of a summary that's being provided by a board member, from the Islamic Society of Orange County, who helped coordinate the summit with what possibly should go with the chairman's report, chairperson's report. The summit, we're coordinating collective efforts with respect to support of Gaza and Palestine. So we'll see that video, but before we do that, I also want to just remind you that next weekend is open mosque day. Hopefully most of the Masajid were members of the Shura have organized a program for open mosque day on that weekend or around that weekend. It's really important opportunity on an annual basis. Of course, we should be working on the schedule more frequently than that, or at least officially. To participate in open mosque day will be really significant. This masjid, Alhamdulillah, is doing a great job in this room for many, many years in opening up the facilities to a broader community to come and feel welcome and to no longer feel mystified by the mosque, the Muslim community, but to be able to feel comfortable in our spaces as guests who we can welcome and educate. So learn from each other's example, take inspiration from what you see, and we'll continue to improve respective efforts with respect to creating a great experience for all of us today. Yes, please. Just shoot this messages.
This year we were really debating whether it was experiment. Because we felt like every year we have the same committee members coming in, the same people always coming, they even enjoy your company, value in the meeting. So we decided to do something different. Why to have a larger audience? Because as you all very well, now there it goes in. So we felt it important that we get as many people to come in and get to know us. So we decided to have an Apple computer and also for Android, like, some city council meeting and we were very receptive and very open to that. So we also have to get a lot of us, give back to all the visitors to make it more attractive. Even if you can change the mind of one or two people, it is a mind we think it's going to be working. So that's why we decided to move the open mosque this year because we did not want to become redundant. You people feel like, oh, it's the only thing you're going to go through everything, give and leave. So, that this will be successful, and if it is, we will let everybody know how well it went by posting pictures and sharing all our successes with the children and each other.
Assalamualaikum. It's good to be with you all virtually. I wanted to share an update on the Southern California Delta Strategy Summit that we had last month on September 13th. Inshallah is the first of a few planned, a few in a series of planned summits that we'd love to put on over the next year, inshallah. It's happened on September 14th, and we brought over 50 young and existing leaders in the community, plus over 20 organizations from across Southern California who were working on Gaza in different capacities. We met because we realized there was a gap in coordination and communication. A lot of people were doing great work. They weren't necessarily aware of who else was doing things and where there might be areas of opportunity to collaborate, where there might be redundancies. So we met to map out all of the Gaza-related efforts locally in Southern California, to build a shared strategy tied to a broader vision, and to identify areas of collaboration where we can amplify the impact now and in the long term. And to do that, we brought in some experts from around nationally, some Muslims who are experts in facilitating these types of conversations and these strategic summits and helping progress them, as well as experts who, like Sam Rasool, who organized locally and politically, so that we can kind of map out who've already mapped out different efforts on a national level, so we can understand how to think about them. And we had basically explored the range of possibilities across the different strategic lanes of the work that gets done with us in this country. So that includes political engagement, advocacy, narrative and cultural strategy, as well as how we can put economic pressure and have legal accountability. Strategic resource and deployment, and the last being infrastructure and movement building. Within those areas, we broke out into groups and had several different ideas. I think we came up with 15 different initiatives across the different groups. And then we had a discussion and voted on what we said would be the top three that we should actually focus. So the three that we focused on were how can we have a coordinated donor and political giving strategy so that we're not just we actually making the impact of the dollars that our community has and donates politically to be the most effective. The second was how can we train a digital army of people in the community to actually be effective on social media, but in a coordinated fashion. I'm going to show a little bit more about that later in this call. And then the last piece was how can we have an accountability campaign for target institutions in our community, but also outside of our communities? How can we accountable for being complicit in the harm on the people of Gaza? As a result, we're going to be kicking off those campaigns and those different initiatives. Each of those are kind of managed by different individuals from different organizations. So Shore Council is providing sort of the strategic forum for this and the conversation, but these are actually being executed and managed by individuals and organizations that are taking some of these things on. And then lastly, maybe some way for other organizations and Massaja to jump in is if you could give us a point of contact, name a point of contact who would be the one from your team or your organization that would love to actually participate in some of these activities. We'd love to plug them in. And with that, we will be sharing a report on some of the activities if you want to. Yeah, so this is kind of going to be a report we'll share out a little bit later with a breakdown of what I just talked about. I'm going to have a lot more detail about it. But the three specific initiatives one specific, uh, yeah, one specific person. Okay, and what that means is, our hypothesis is that we can get 100 people, if we can get 100 people to post about something on social media, that it will make it seem as though there's a lot of activity and buzz going on. So that 100 people will make it feel as though, will make, tens of thousands of people actually see those messages, which will be way more than anything that we've seen with contacts, calling congressmen or sending emails to them, which will be thousands of people getting exposed to, the issue rather than them just as a sponsor some of these other initiatives. That's our hypothesis. We're going to be testing that out, inshallah. So we're going to be kicking off the first few training sessions in November, inshallah. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more.
Anyone have any comments or questions, if have any those? Specifically, summers.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the name of the tool he was mentioning? I didn't hear him mention the name tool. Do you know what that tool is?
I didn't get that, but it's, if you that it's the built-in AI tool or within it.
Yeah, so just like, what is that tool? So we can, just research and Google it or start using it ourselves in the meantime. Be helpful to know.
Sorry. You weren't gonna just, is that not a thing before? Anyone else?
This week, a little bit more definition.
Yeah, so that was, for the Yasser. He represents, Islamic Society of Orange County, regarding the masjid on the board. You can make it, he's, I believe he's our top, today. So, he coordinated on behalf of Shura, the, summit, the town summit that we organized on the people person to bring the different actors together. So this was his recap of that event. That was decided in the general body, to be a couple of meetings before. One of the biggest fear that I personally have regarding the ceasefire, of course, we cautiously developing that, is our complicitness, our subconsciously thinking that things are going to be okay, and we can, relax and uh, go get back. We have to keep in mind that the underlying cause of the occupation, in the apartheid is very much alive. Gaza is still, even after the ceasefire, is 50, at least 58% going to be under occupation, continue to remain under occupation in the first phase, and I believe 30 some percentage after the second phase as well. And even after that, there will be a big effort, and then we will go back to the normal, which is where killings will be just happening on a daily basis on a much smaller scale. So that oppression, that persecution, occupation is going to continue. So we have to continue to make our voices strong with our partners, coalitions that we have built over the last couple of years, and continue our position. So that was on the summit. This is one that there will be additional follow-up activities and events related to how we as a regional community can be more strategic about how we, where we place our energies and our resources and our funds. And we also just gave a kind of recap of the initial conversation, but inshallah we'll build on that in upcoming meetings. And we will schedule a collective town hall for the community at large to present pragmatic or practical steps that individual community members can take in their own neighborhoods and their communities to shift the understanding of what's going on in Palestine and to garner more solidarity, support, allegiance, and a proper understanding on the part of others who do not be as invested in these matters as we as a community have been. Yeah, okay. Anything else, any other feedback going forward? Please go ahead, introduce yourself. So I just wanted to thank for all the members. So we are having a suggestion from Brother Muhammad Ali, international league. International HR. So I just wanted to say that we are being the rainfall has been, it's fascinating to see, bringing all our entities together to really put one fall to use for community. The biggest fall has been access, and there are a lot of risks and threats, the English and being legal offenses more there locally and polite to be. So it makes sense, come together with youth and the beauty have a different type of very, part of the for them to get. I also just want to I feel interested. International Day, this November 19, International Day Charity is taking a group of youth from around the world to Syria. It's a week-long program of distribution of generally emergency aid, food aid. We welcome all the organizations here to send their youth or others as volunteers for a week-long program in Syria. Thank you very much for the opportunity for this question. I think that's very good feedback. The town hall that we just talked about focused on the activism. Is suggested for relief, which is going to be a high priority now. To bring all the relief organizations together is a very good suggestion. We can probably think of something like that. At least from my information, close to a dozen organizations in Southern California are engaged with some form or the other of relief because I think about 5 or 6 of them are our members, and you will hear from one of our members later, inshallah. Any other suggestions? All right. So, for the human appeal sponsors presentation, the speaker is going to be here in another 20 minutes or so, inshallah. So in the meanwhile, we move on to the next item, which is the 30th anniversary banquet home and table reservations. So I'd like to take the easy part first, which is table reservations. If we can have someone note down any of the institutions and organizations here who have not yet registered for a table, not yet reserved the table, please raise your hand and we can take your name down or reserve. Okay, so we just had a little bit of conversation earlier about the Shield Council as a non-profit organization having a local project and an fundraiser, which in this case is the 30th anniversary. So inshallah, we'll be able to honor a number of pioneers who have helped establish the Shore Council and have sustained our communities. And we want to see everyone there, every member organization. There are 78 member organizations. Theoretically, we should have 780 people in attendance if each of those organizations purchase the table. We know that that's not feasible for a number of reasons, but a significant number of members should be able to purchase the table. The cost of a single ticket for the banquet on November 1st is $75, which is much less than most organizations today are charging for their banquets. Usually it's 125, 150 sometimes, at least $100. Our banquet will take it $75, the table is $750. That should be feasible for any sizable. Okay. We want to not worrying about the cost of putting on the banquet. We want to ensure that the most number of our community members can gather together and enjoy an evening, a milestone that could be so powerful. And so we will feel enthusiastic about coming out and enjoying the week. We do not know that the virtuous hospitality of the Islamic Society of Orange County. We will also be mindful of costs. We could do it at the Hilton or the Sheraton or someplace. Inshallah, in other places we may do that. For this case, because we want to be transparent, we want to be responsible with the funds. And knowing revenues and expenses and our desire to go to the next level and to make the Shore Council not only conceptually as well organization for collective efforts, but also eventually sustained and strong. And the building is part of that. Inshallah, in the coming months, as we make more progress, we will be in that position. When we continue to utilize our promotional funds and hopefully some funds from the executive director. The Bible is ending upon full means stepping up as representatives of their respective organizations and making a commitment today to participate. Each of us has read members of life and also made a commitment to secure tables or more tickets. So we're all invested. I'm moving more like that for us so that we feel it's important to contextualize. But this is not just big ones, It's really important for everyone to show up on November 1st, every organization, so that we can appreciate one another's presence, give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for keeping us united as a community, keeping us impactful as a community, and giving us the desire to make decisions for everything was to be present, inshallah. So we're going to pass this out. We want every masjid to at least able inshallah. Our Jazakallah for explaining that by me. So all the ideas that we're learning stand on this foundation. I would like to touch on of course, the sponsorship. So first, I'd like to thank the organizations who have already taken up those sponsorship packages. Some lead for our platinum care, the silver, the say the yeah, and that's to make this one package as well. That would really help the offsetting the cost of the fundraiser. And it is really start the fundraiser almost solidly. So please
organize that, take any of those packages. And on a side note, once again, thank you team for sponsoring this and request other organizations to sponsor on a following general body meetings, depending on your convenience. Right now, we have a couple of organizations, but not yet confirmed. But we will be confirming soon, so we have one more general body this year that is available for sponsorship. And then we have next year's 4 or 5 general body meetings. So you can pick your month, pick your quarter, and offer your sponsorship insurance. The sponsorship amount is $5,000, and it will go a long way in helping us, inshallah, and give you amazing exposure among the some company solution. All right, so with that, as the clock is circulating around, please do sign up for a table. Any comments or requests or suggestions for our upcoming banquet? First, we were saying the following that we were to wait for maybe around uh, half an hour or 20 minutes before the door call to prayer and 1 hour morning. So
Thank you. So back to the topic of the Yola, remember, obviously, planning for that and share on this program. Part of what we have been doing is to show a video that's not promotion reference our community's diversity, unity. So we have prepared a script which has about 30, it has about 30 lines. And what we would like to do at one of the time after the meeting concludes, but before that, in the room next to us, there's a small conference room. We would like to line all of you up. We have 30 slots. We'd like each one of you to read one of those lines. We will film that. So everyone will just go through real quick, film the one line that you're given. And then later on, we'll compile it, and together we'll make a message, a coherent message. Or that's part of the script. So inshallah will be one of the things that we share with the larger audience on November 1st. It's important that you participate because you are the representatives of your organizations. You are the Shura Council membership. And so when we have a gala, it's regular. It's our collective game. So we want all the faces, the lovely faces of all of you to be represented as part of our communities. Or the communities as well. And that's the plan. Does that make sense? Inshallah, if we get everyone's participation, it would be much appreciated. And we'll capture additional content from that also. If it doesn't, like, everyone's going to have a style basically to work for group participation. So, open to for that. Before we exit the room, then I will take the records. Which will be the last line of the script that we will send out to you. And we'll practice it a couple of times each show. And then we will record that first and then you'll do the individual first. And we're always passing out the scripts. So hold on to the scripts. That will very cool. Then, make sure it was not just, just make sure there's a good mix. Because the scripts are in the sequence.
How we should do it together.
Just a little bit together. Okay. All right. So this will give you a chance to get a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. If there was any questions on the recording, we can move on to the next.
If I may, I know we have more than 30 folks here today. And for those that are here that have more than one person per organization, maybe choose one person from your organization who will be in our individual video. I think that'll be a lot helpful as well.
Please say that we have more people, so please, have one organization, one person per organization, that way we can go to, where is
Yes, they're the same, we're gonna read that.
That's the collective one that we'll do here. And then when we're done with the meeting, we'll go to the room outside in the conference room. And then I have the individual lines that I will
So
give.
there are two types of scripting. One is individual and collective. Collective will be here, individual in the room. Okay, so I'd like to take your bring your attention to 2 or 3 general body meetings ago in February. We had a brainstorming session on some of the projects that Tour Council should be involved in. And one important project that came up in the discussion was on the topic of matrimonial services. Several massages, organizations, websites are doing that. Brother Miguel from Masjid Jibreel, you have suggested some kind of coordination. We requested him to come up with a proposal in the way Shura Council can get involved. And he has a quick appeal. He's working on that proposal and fine tuning it. But in the meanwhile, he has an appeal for all the organizations. Somebody can pass the mic to him. Thank you, great.
The mic. Check. It is, but all folks online will be. So. You know.
I think it's short, yeah. It's on work, it's on work, so it's on follow up. Yes. It's going to be very long. It's going to be very long. So the first page. So I don't have to learn about the questions. This is not just an appeal for a person to my person's open. If you ask any insider, we'll walk the. From the person who interested. You take this information, try to match it with something else to respond on list or the the database or however you're able to get the information. If we talk to the fact that the person who are interested, and then we basically pass the information on. We have had a relatively small amount of success so that because we do not have the further have the prospects, meaning the brand and future the board of the board was looking to be married. We don't have the number of, there was a bigger pool to match. So my humble request to the messiahs who are already doing this program is to please coordinate this so that the information will be shared with us. Short answer like a we should be able to go on this. And choose this. Just to the families in live.
So this, this for those who are going to get married, you want to be judgmental, but you can give it to Brother Diaz here, or save it for
I'm just joking. Yeah, inshallah. So Brother Riyaz mainly is looking to expand because right now is the Masajid have got amazing programs. They don't have in-person networking events, they have a website, they have a paperwork available, different services, but they are limited in scope. So he wants to expand towards Southern California. That will allow for better opportunities as well as to require some more offshore counsel in coordination with each other. So yeah, we are here, inshallah, to support you in however you want. And once again, urge, I know some of us have very vibrant programs, Irvine, Shiro, my area, areas as well. So please get in touch with Elias. He has this vision and this website for you to this form. It is not very complicated, as you mentioned. It is just connecting people. It's more like a networking. And Jazakallah khair for taking the initiative. Alright, one guest that we also have, I would like to acknowledge is Brother Shakir Mohyuddin, Sayyid Shakir Mohyuddin, who is coming from India. He is the Assistant General Secretary of Jamaat Islami Hind, the largest Muslim organization in India. It's listed, and he's here in this meeting. Please feel free to connect if you can stand for a bit, Shakir, with this in the back. My introduction. You can introduce yourself. Yeah. My name is Sayyid Majid Shakir, as Mas introduced me. Actually, my professional background is in electronics and communication engineer. Worked more than 25 years in Gulf, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Now back in India, I'm working for Jamaat Islami full time, and there I'm responsible for our organization, finance area, and other departments as an assistant secretary general. So now here I am on visit to USA on invitation from NIMA, North American Indian Muslim Association. So that was one conference, and university was there in Atlanta. So in the same way, I am visiting California. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. For inshallah, Allah will give it breaks, we can have some discussion meeting. So, is here? Okay, so inshallah, Mr. Info was presenting Women Team, which is the sponsor of the organization. A quick invite as the Shakir and the Niyaz are here. Tomorrow there is a Biryani Fest, the largest festival of biryanis at your center. So you're all welcome to join us. This is organized by the North American Indian Muslim Association. Who you have?
So, Assalamu alaikum, guys. Human Affairs here today sponsoring this event because we like to sponsor and support Shura Council, Alhamdulillah. You also do the same, inshallah. My speaker actually, he's a little bit late, few minutes only, but in the meantime, we're going to start our video. Human Appeal is what we go around the world. You all know me, I know pretty much, but you have no idea what Human Appeal does, mashallah. I can easily say, number one Muslim charity in the world. You can challenge me for that. And in the US, we have internal data, we are number two right now. Not gonna tell you the number one, but we are number two. But let me tell you guys, we are only 3 years in the USA. So being a number two and only being present here for 2 years says something. Alhamdulillah. So let's start this with our video, inshallah. Then I will introduce our speaker to you guys.
Yahya Khan, Global Director of Fundraising for the charity Human Appeal. Well, this is Ammar Khatib, the Global Emergency Lead at Human Appeal.
This is Abdurrahman Abdullah, Immediate Officer at the Human Appeal Hearing. Since October 9, government has really delivered deals for us.
Constantly changing nature of the crisis is a huge responsibility that we carry on our shoulders. With your generous support,
We have delivered over 10 million companies and over 80 million liters of clean water. So, and we're still delivering every single day. These real funds, basic prices, food donations are providing them with vital. Some people ask how we are preparing what means when the borders are closed. Almost nothing is hitting into us. The answer is sourcing ingredients from inside us. We receive daily updates from our team in North, South, and Middle Europe. Even during communication blackouts, our work continues. During Ramadan, we hosted grand stars across Gaza and reached over 17,000 brothers and sisters. We have also delivered more than 9,000 thousands. Each one back essential supplies that can last the million. Our makeshift clinic has provided medical aid to over 47,000 patients, including women and children. We provide with lead acts and stored outside us, leading to them as soon as the border opens. Our teams work under immense pressure, often through dangerous areas, yet they continue delivering even in the darkest times. As a remain under an emergency, and together we continue to deliver something we are not.
Ten years ago, we represent in the US for 3 years. We were based in UK. If you maybe remember, some UK students and some students from Dubai together find a small entity called Women Appeal maybe 30 years ago. That's what it is, mashallah. Those students' dream become a reality. Our main base is in UK, but in the USA, we have a headquarters in Texas. Alhamdulillah, this year we opened an office here in Orange County, in Mission Viejo, right next to the Mission Viejo Masjid. Our CEO is Dr. Mohammed Ashaway. If you guys know, Dr. Mohammed Ashaway. And our medical director was Dr. Zahir Machisomo in India. So this is pretty much our back structure. I am their Southern California representative. As you know, I lived here 11 years, 13 years or so. Now I'm reaching an appeal. First of all, these little gift bags, if you don't have one, it's outside for you. Usually I'm very stingy, I will spend my money in everything of that. But this is to celebrate Action for Gaza and liberation. Why? You all allow me to come to your message to go with donation for women up here. This is a very tiny gift for you guys, inshallah. I'm going to tell you some number until my sleeping comes to $1 million. That's what I raised last year from a charity organization. Not tabling. I did not do no events, didn't sell no food, no drinks, nothing, only tabling. I am a baby of Allah and I'm proud of it, alhamdulillah. This year I'm up to 700,000 with women. This is not me. What I'm telling you guys is these little tables that you guys, rational and written my code and text actually matters. That's what Liberace helps us. Even Admiral has a lot of internal connections with Jordan Hashemite Air Force, which we dropped 3 or 4 choppers, literally, within the Gaza during the war. And we have very good connections with Saudi, though, First time this year, in 2 years or so, Gaza people eat fresh meat. I'm talking about fresh meat, not canned, not frozen, fresh meat. They were down to the Saudi in our partnership with Kunafi. There's another video for that, but it's easily found on online. If you go on YouTube, Kunafi USA fresh meat, you'll see that. Whatever in Zabila, we sent donations to money was survivor. Had sterilized, can't say that word. They sterilized the meat and they vacuum packed it and they waited, and they waited until end of the almost work and people literally starting that agreement went to ask me again how our CEO makes America's mashallah. Fresh meat was delivered to us. Again, it's like don't believe me, human appeal fresh meat, you will see Al Jazeera coverage here. So our speaker is Brother Mohammed Al Nakim. He is 25 years old, mashallah, one of the best speaker I ever know. He is also a medical student, Bismillah, mashallah, just came from a hospital rotation. He will tell you more about human appeal work around the world, and he's a candidate. So come to your masjids and you put that and to permit to take them outside and be the vendor of Allah with our friends.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Barakallahu feekum. As Sister Igor just told you guys, I'm sure she did a great job. I'm sorry, that just forgot. I'm literally running from the car and up the steps. As you can see, I'm in the middle of my surgery rotation. And I got to take lunch, zipped over to the resident, and came back. And just to start, and so you guys know, I'm going to start with Turkey. And as she said, the level surgery rotation right now here, medical field development, and I think that's human appeal. And I think it speaks to how much I believe in the land, that's what human appeal for me to and come out, and especially in this time to these locations. And alhamdulillah, I mean, it's my first 3 weeks out here in Los Angeles. So everybody here is new faces. Ms. Kirk, alhamdulillah, I was a speaker, alhamdulillah, youth coordinator, and I see people said, anyone who says it's Allah to offer that help against Allah and offer aid the youth that are legal to see and win here, inshallah. With that being said, inshallah, we are going to do first of all, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, human appeal. I believe you should learn about the organization. Just maybe as a broad overview, you know, the trust organization, that's not what I'm here to tell you today. Not the fact we've been on the ground for 30 years, and in over 20 countries, and the work on the ground is not companies will collect money and send it over to people on the ground. No, field helps the process in so many different ways. We have our own employees on the ground in these countries from these countries. So the people working inside of Mesa, or three kitchens inside of Mesa, have offered 8 million meals, hot meals that led us since the beginning of the war. This time, alhamdulillah, those employees inside of us that are offering the meals, people are making their and the same thing said, and the same to them, so we are offering God, changing lives of people while we are doing the work on it. And it's one of the organizations, alhamdulillah, that immediately offers transparency with every single thing that they do. Alhamdulillah, my first interaction with Human Appeal was actually through the message. I'm one of the executive board of the message, and Human Appeal had come to us that they offered us to come and to do an event for us, to bring shit on the TV, and they came and we raised money for an event. Within a few weeks, the message gets pictures and videos and feedback and benches of all of us to pull us into the help that we get with the money that we donate, with the people that benefit from the ground. And that transparency is something from the organization, like in the field that I've seen with my own 2 eyes. And that transparency is what we're here to offer with you guys today. It makes you that feels very different. And what makes me so excited to be up here and come out my shift and talk to you guys is very, very simple. 2 main things. Number one, the work that I've seen on the ground myself. Alhamdulillah, this summer, I traveled with the CEO of the organization. You guys may know Muhammad Ashnawi, the Malvi. He's actually from here. He's one of you guys, Orange County resident. Alhamdulillah. I traveled, and before I even came to be a volunteer in that, and he offered me. I said, Dr. Ashnawi, I want to go out and do the research work. I want to go out and see volunteer. I'm traveling. بنعمل احنا projects من الله والله صغير يكون 3 meat that is stored in cooked and once put into the first meat that goes in, it has a 2-year shelf life with no refrigeration. I watched it with my own eyes and I went to the plant and I checked out the meat and we learned about the processes. The organic that came from India that was being packaged and came from cooked meats that have a 0.5 something like that. If he could say Human Appeals organization, and he told me, I want you to see your own 2 eyes. That's the first thing. The second thing, which is very, very unique to the organization, I want everybody to turn their listening ears to the best frequency. This is the most important thing. The most important thing is that Human Appeal offers a partnership. You know about charity organizations. I'll get to it. Sheikh, Allah barik feek. We want to come, do a khutbah masjid, and put a table up, inshallah ta'ala. You collect money with you to go, inshallah. Yes, okay. Then the Sheikh is like, what did I get? My imams out of commissions for a week. Maybe some donations are going to go away. Maybe the mission didn't get anything out of it. Why should I tell this person yes? Why should I bring them in? This is what we see with every organization. When you're going to be interested in benefiting your community and interested in benefiting your message. And let me tell you what I mean. Number one, you're going to build partnerships with big speakers and with youth coordinators and with people. And Sheikh Ahmed Jibril, Sheikh Hassan Saleh. And Human Appeal is then benefiting your communities by bringing these communities and bringing these speakers and bringing someone I'm going to have, like myself, come do youth events, someone who's youth coordinator, someone come youth focus thing, and so on and so forth. Do not want to where it's one to one. Give me a youth event, give me a khutbah. No. We come, we do a partnership with you, this Assalamu alaikum, do a partnership with you, and throughout the year, in Ramadan, bring Sheikh Ahmed Jibril, the Khalid who led 3.4 people in Fatima Arab. He's going to lead the rep for you guys. And I'm going to give you guys a great lead and 700 moving towards the East Coast right now. And we're going to do the MMA fighter to come here and bring their youth to the message of that. So he's going to give you guys a lot of and such. All these 6 events throughout the year. And it becomes a partnership. The message is benefiting. The message is getting people to come to it. The message is getting people to interact. The message itself is getting people to benefit. And one step further, I was on the way here, fascinating what a medical doctor does, with the global director of fundraising. And I was like, I was here till that, I'm almost there. Just any last final tips? He's like, you know the deal, make sure you let it know who's the person and let me know that we are happy and interested to take every single one of you guys sitting here with us, the same way I went to see the projects, to take you. Let that be our we are going there to deliver the aid to the people that are in need. We're happy to take their promising you us on the trips. Let's see if they have somebody in the rest of the executive director or youth coordinator that's working very hard to increase the activity in the masjid. We're interested in paying their salary. Well, Allah, a phone call that happened not even 25 minutes ago. He's in the UK and I'm here. That's the first time I'm hearing this. He says, we're interested in working with them. We're interested in knowing what we can do for these messages. We're interested in knowing how we can uplift these communities. So this is what you're getting with them. In return, everybody's done. And yesterday I gave a up in the Center of London. First time there in the music community. And I was telling them that, see through that which Allah has given you that's hereafter. Everybody's sitting here right now, Allah has given you a position. What they need, the evidence is in front of you. If you do my speaking, know that your ummah at home is benefiting, that your youth and your messages are going to be getting taught and getting helped. More benefit. And I want to tell you guys, not to scare anybody, but you will be asked one by one about your position and about what you're able to do and about what you did. Did you discharge that duty? That's what we're trying to do with Wow. That's why I love it personally. I obviously interact with a lot of students at work and school and everything. And one of the most beautiful things that boggles their mind is we don't play by their rules. In America, pay me, give me. When you see a Muslim community like in Michigan, where the Muslim community, whenever 2 young people are get married, the whole community gets together and buy them a house. That doesn't make sense to them. When you see people here that are giving their time and wealth and money and abilities, that doesn't make sense to them. When you see MSAs that are raising $30, $40, $50,000 and making huge things just to make some classes and some health products. That doesn't make sense to me. So I want you guys to really believe in that and really believe in what we are, to put our hands in each other's hands, all that, to put our hands in each other's hands with people like Human Appeal, with people like yourselves, inshallah, and see what your best can benefit and do what's in their best interest and what's in the Ummah's best interest. This is the most important thing that Allah should allow us to discharge our duty in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu allow us to be the ones that are upholding the Ummah, and Allah subhanahu allow us to be the ones that are bringing us to this being long Ameen. With that being said, I'll take any quick questions. Am I over the time, under the time? I thought, no, is it just, doing good? By the way, I forgot about this one. We are the charity partner for Nur upon Moods, Nur Light and Mufti Bank and everybody. And right now we're working so bad to be the charity partner for them here in America. And once we get visas cleared, those assets are going to be available to everybody too. Sheikh Mufti Bank and the likes of him, so as who come do a better mission is going to be available to whatever we have opportunity with, you have opportunity with. One, you like Human Appeal, it's different. The idea that Human Appeal is focused on making a relationship with an MMA club and a big speaker and a youth coordinator and somebody here in order to benefit the community, it's genius. And the idea that Human Appeal, for example, you know, all orphans partnership, right? You know, after they get sponsored, 18 plus, send them to school, medical school, and pay for their computers and pay for their tuition. Things I've never seen before. Not just give people clean water, no, build for them a way that they're going to be out of poverty. Totally. Basically, the philosophy being, don't give a man fish, teach a man how to fish. A Human Appeal is teaching the man how to fish. So,
Well, first question is, thank you for sharing about the efforts in this.
yes,
Tell us the signature project.
absolutely. I'm so sorry about it. I wasn't sure if Sister Igor had told that. But like I said, Human Appeal is working in 20 other countries. Some of the signature projects, of course, right now, I would say in Pakistan, in Sudan, some of the bigger humanitarian crises, alhamdulillah, of course in Syria and Lebanon, especially with Syria and Lebanon, places like hospitals that are there where care is being tended to, doctors being tended to, food and humanitarian aid going into Sudan, alhamdulillah, places like Darfur in Pakistan, very many places, villages that they do not even have bathrooms. They do not even have clean water. And Human Appeal going in and turning these villages into livable areas and giving these people sustainable things to do. And all of these different places that don't have bathrooms or clean water or masajid, doing masajid and building schools for them and building those type of things. So hospital projects, building school projects, makeshift masajid and real water projects, desalination projects, water cleaning projects, of course, and so many other things aside from the classic food kitchens, aside from the classic idea of giving hot meals, which is not unimportant. It's very important for us to have options, and we ourselves have a lot of options every single day. But alhamdulillah, we need specific singular projects, alhamdulillah, even if it is after alhamdulillah, on ground with those different places, and perhaps Sister Ika will tell you a little bit more with regards to that as well. So,
Any questions, for the rest of for Human Appeal, Sister Group, anyone on their presentations? So it's very, very heartening to hear so much groundwork going on. So,
what part of one person cost for what? I'm not 100% sure, but any organization and any organization, I don't know if you want to get cash. But it goes anywhere between 80 to 15%.
Yeah, that's correct, exactly. Any of the organization printed here, you can ask them 8 to 15. Ours is set exactly at 11 and a half. Sometimes 12, yes. But zakat and reference, absolutely nothing, because this is all the economy.
So alhamdulillah, I mean, in regards to that, I like the element of transparency first, like you're saying exactly what it is. Would anybody wondering? No, alhamdulillah, and the nice thing about that is the idea is that these people that are getting, for example, 11.5% to 12%. These people are the people that are going to get them. So when we or somebody pays somebody something kind of money or some kind of organization, that person's going getting paid, let's say $10 and then bring it back $1,000. Let's say that we just make the numbers easy for the cost. That's something that's amazing. Just idea. I know that's kind of the idea. Some question. Great question.
Maybe touch us, because if you start our PowerPoint, it's almost an hour. Please, on making in your hands, you have our flyer with QR code on that. Touch it, go see our work in Gaza. We can play it if you have time, but let me say the least, Al Jazeera only aired us during Ramadan and our grand iftar, 7,000 meals every single day between the ruins with a dignified clean plates, food, and chair to sit on. You can see this in Al Jazeera coverage in online. So I'm not going to touch with that project. It's huge documentary. Unbelievably amazing. We are on the ground since day one till now. Anyhow, I will not take time from him. Any questions for Brother Mohammed? He is the closing person. If you need any formal things in California, give me a call, brothers. In the back, I have my business card. You can reach at any time. So, brother, is that what you have? Can you quickly play that video? It's only 1 minute. Everybody takes it today. We don't believe the mood project. You want to see sister go? Here we go. He's gonna play the video for you guys. You don't believe it, but those are amazing, inshallah. So you see it yourself. And I want to thank you, especially Dr. Brother Allah and ISC colonists. As you know, I'm here to thank me because they opened their doors to every organization, Marshall. Thank you.
Transit through unique process. This meat here can survive up to 2 years of shelf life without losing its quality. In partnership with the KSA project for utilization of Hadi and Udhiyah meat, Human Appeal has launched a powerful initiative to preserve the meat of Hadi and Udhiyah and deliver it to the families in Gaza who are enduring unimaginable hardship. Over 38 tons of boneless meat were processed in Saudi Arabia in Mecca through advanced sterilization and air-sealed packaging. All harmful bacteria were removed. The meat has been safely shipped and stored in Amman, Jordan, right here in this facility to ensure it remains intact and ready for the next stage. The transportation of this meat directly to our brothers and sisters inside Gaza. The scale of devastation, famine, and hunger facing our families in Gaza, even in the darkest of hours, Human Appeal never stops. We've entered more than 103,000 food parcels. We delivered over 7.5 million hot meals inside Gaza. Our Prophet ﷺ said, if any Muslim relieves a Muslim hardship in this worldly life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve them from hardship on the day of judgment. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us. Without your support, Human Appeal could not do any of the stuff that we have done to our brothers inside Gaza. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Your brother Muhammad Asmawi, Human Appeal CEO.
So, for once again, for using them, inshallah, for the other relief organizations as well, we would like to give an opportunity in the future to share your work that's going on in Gaza. Maybe as Brother had suggested, have a kind of a forum or a meeting, something like that, where we can consolidate these efforts and bring it to our community. The community definitely is interested and deserves to know how these organizations are working on the ground. With that, colleague, Dr. Nasser, who is representing Islamic Center of Southern California on the Square Council Board, was noticing the banquet table signature, and he has few words to share.
Salam. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Actually moved with all the discussions and the passion for us to be united and to be together, inshallah. And alhamdulillah, we have quite a few Islamic centers over here. However, I was looking at the list of the people that are going to be supporting our 30th anniversary banquet. And just, how many do you think? How many tables do you think have been committed so far? Look, out of 30 organizations, did you say what, 15? Any other numbers? 10? 8. So I am looking for us as a community, and I do appreciate, and I'm not in the part of the team that just pressures everybody and stuff like that. But I'm reminding yourself and myself that we have the intention, but we have to walk. We have to stand up. And if you want to make the commitment, now is a good time to make the commitment. So that if we can get as many of us in that event, then we're supporting each other for unity, so that we can grow and be strong and continue, as opposed to not. So with that, I appreciate your patience listening to me, but I would like for us to at least, instead of 8, to get 15, or 20. So with that, I'm gonna just let it stop.
Also, sign up the QR code, some of these sheets on the table.
Why? See, out of the house, you get to have a meeting. But I personally, and several of my board members will not be able to attend because we have other events that is happening already that we are committed to. So why not think about having, moving back to the springtime, or sometime in, April or May, or maybe after that, because by the time hopefully a lot of people will have already received their, from the IRS, we're going to from the tax refunds, maybe it will happen. So with this time, so many banquets are happening. Literally, every banquet at least do a month. Starting with the Seattle Council, it's not maybe for that, the day event coming out, the events coming out, the Islamic event coming out. It is a good time. So you might want to consider in the middle of the year. First of all, this, the radio feedback, gives we have noticed, that end of the year, everybody wants to get done with their banquets and, there are a lot of it's, the reason was Ramadan was growing up, coming closer to our usual day. But apart from that, I think going forward, your suggestion definitely you take it seriously next year, inshallah, we'll try to do much earlier. Another thing is that the take-up community is growing. There are more new organizations coming here, establishing it, here becoming members of your council, growing, organizing large banquets, which is a good thing. But it also means that there will be always multiple events happening in any given weekend. So at this point, we recognize that, we acknowledge that. We got some centers to send representatives, how many ever, either from your board, staff, who can attend.
Right, and I think we would appreciate the suggestion, we will recommend take a look at the calendar for future, we'll kind of return to a traditional spot, but. In any case, for November 1st, celebration of the 30th anniversary. We hope that we will have maximum participation as Dr. Nestor was indicating. And we understand that different leaders within every organization, investors may or may not be available on a different weekend. Our ask is that you take the initiative to invite members of your immediate community who you feel can attend or require them to ensure that the tables that you commit to are not left empty. We're not trying to sell tables just for the sake of the revenue. We want people's presence. That may or may not include all of the leaders and board members, but at least it can be a representative sample of your community or your organization. So we would appreciate your feedback. Thank you. So Dr. Nasser is going to initiate, inshallah, the second round of passing the table sign-up sheet. Hopefully we can get a few more sign-ups this time.
Problems, there's no organization today.
Absolutely, absolutely. But if you're not on the email, we'll call every single one of the organizations. And we'll share it on WhatsApp as well. We have about 25 to 30 organizations together globally. For those organizations here today that are not member of Shura Council, I would definitely urge you to consider joining Shura Council. We do have two levels of membership, associate and full membership. For those organizations or masajid that have a smaller budget, they can definitely sign up as associate members. Inshallah. All right. Yeah.
For many years, I've been in the country. Promise to really make it ticket from the very beginning. I think if massages were still that point, have your code and put it out there, you can sign up people from your community. A monthly thing that we need to grow for the support of the third council, and we have more people coming to the venue. Not necessarily in people, but I think it's a better thing.
I'm looking at really suggesting that we have some kind of subscription model where on a monthly basis the masajid can or organizations can contribute and then they have the free table at the venue. That's a good idea, inshallah.
So they're in the business too.
Yes, absolutely. The first one.
Truly, that nobody's putting it out there anymore.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Shall we'll discuss with military. Get back to you. All right. Brother, yes.
I have a suggestion, I'm not sure it's. I have a suggestion for private, I think, not a small massage, change. Scheduling the game. If you don't break. Is it possible for a good body? Sure, so, or somehow, you have, I'd love to see down on the shore website, a section where it just says, okay, the rep, and decided to get book management. This is specifically for private meetings. We have issues where we don't have an FOB, and somebody cancels it, and there are very little things can be said, once they're there. 6 months from later, it could be 1 month, it could be 1 week, whatever it is. That they will say, which needs a program, with a topic, and things will be signed with the companies. You will go to the
Very good suggestion. The logistics of that were a little challenging. We will look into that. The issue was number one, we were not getting the requests as much so that we can update. That was number one. Number two, the people who need to see that are not seeing that. So the Khatibs, available imams who should be seeing. So these days, it's age of WhatsApp. So what I would highly recommend is to use the general body WhatsApp group, and that's what this is meant for coordination. And we also have the imams WhatsApp group as well, which most of us may not be members of that. But at least in the general body, if you can say, hey, our regular fatigue cancelled us. It's only 3 days now. Today is Wednesday. Is anyone available for this Friday tomorrow? So I'm sure we have movement heads of Sajid and also Ilans who can look into it and can the roots. Please. Yes.
Your comfort and the But I just said, what's up with this opinion? Send it to leaders in the regarding this week. I said I have 3 months available for Juma, including this brother. I got 3 responses. So please, available, I'm telling you guys, free, no charge to you, and I get 0 response. So I don't know what else to do anymore. If anybody here can share it, Sister is giving you guys available 3 hadiths. One is in Sunnah and 2 others flying for your request. So because you are here to try to help you guys cut your costs. Provide us.
Thank you. So, Brother Riyaz, did you get that request from Sister?
Further question on the six tracks, so the reason why we hesitate is the visual outline. Yes or no? But it's not used. It's really not.
On the
So,
fundraising more scares everybody. Don't be scared. Your money's going there.
Thank you, thank you. Sure. All right, so next topic.
supposedly up. What? You really have no idea what your council is and what your council does. You really want to comment on that, like, you're in a program that's not sure as to what your council is. So, your council definitely has a marketing cost. Verification problem. That needs to be addressed very extensively. Because if the community does not know what your council is, and it is part that we are part of the process of the your council is us. If they don't understand that, you're not gonna get any. You're not gonna, no matter what you know, you're gonna have as, pure authority, you're gonna have things going on. If they don't know who you are, they're not gonna be. So the same thing, I think, I see a lot of that, there's a lot of the subject, an example of only people signing up for the table, one people saying here. That says a lot. So we need to address that extensively. We see, here are council here. In council, once a year, we want to, they make it up here. That's not good. You should send calls out, you can schedule, copy. 2 or 3 times a year, become a good work, which is, so I think that needs to be addressed very strong. I think that is the second. That's my honest opinion, sincerely. Thank you so much.
Just a very good opinion. And the fatigue, if fatigue available for with the salaries of everything I need, we can definitely look into it. And maybe we'll consult human appeal regarding that or fatigue or whatever, inshallah, we will follow.
So I got just point out, your members, you maybe studying to 8, 7 weeks. Nice that you have like a 1 page actually, what's the impact? What was Sure Council done in 30 years? That would help us tell, like I'm at the National Bridge Organization, even nobody actually living here except for myself. So I can't do it to you because I can't come to people. But we can then share that out with our members, right? 80 people, when it's actually, every organization touches at least maybe 1,000, 2,000 people right here. But we need to have what is sure doing. And what has they done for 30, what is the celebration of 30 years? Give us some data, facts that we can share out. It may be a short video, I mean, martial arts where they speak very well. But some facts, a short video, so we can help you in the market. And also for the short term, so if we use any marketing person. That's a great, you can get somebody part-time to do work, that would be a great use of money. And those marketing dollars will bring in the money to fund the rest of your staff and organization.
Absolutely. I think that's the moment in the discussion of the executive director that we had as well. But the marketing is definitely needed and impact report, which is pretty normal for any nonprofit
is something we should, whether it's a video or printed document or so. So Jazakallah khair. Yeah, it's inclusive.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters. My name is Hassan Ahmed. I am the founder of Sunrise Community Center and Sunrise Academy in Bakersfield, California. I just wanted to give this my first time attending here. My cousin invited me, just want to give you guys a couple feedback. First of all, Jazakumullah khair for what you guys are doing. A lot of people don't know what you guys are doing behind closed doors. And this is what really hurts us. We're really quick to judge people for what we're doing. They have no idea what it takes to be a leader for some people to take actual lead. Now, I will several things. I'm really miserable like in stuff. I'm going to move inside of school. Now we're going to phase two of going to going on. I noticed there's no networking system throughout California. Zero. So maybe I know that's the concept of Shula Council, but maybe that's what the value should be. Because right now, if there's 30 people in attendance or 30% of attendance, only a handful of us, just maybe 3 or 4, that actually says something. Because there's actually no value. Like right now, I'm trying to join, I'm getting rejected from every single masjid converse, right? So if there was a stronger networking system, and we can show the subject in other organizations that brings us closer together. We need to find what that home is. If we felt what that actually connect everyone with, she values every single person. This is what will change us. So we have to find out what it's supposed to want. There's a lot of short-term long-term, and that result is going to actually take us to the next level. And when you guys with this, one thing I noticed, there's not a lot of young birds here, which means the future of this program is in jeopardy. That shift needs to change. We need to find out who's younger, who's active, who has an active kid in the community, pull that person out and plug them in. So this way, inshallah, there is something, not just now, but long term, inshallah, that keeps us to a better going. Jazakumullah.
Right, very good suggestion. Thank you so much. Just for information, Alhamdulillah, we have 14 masajid together. This is the largest gathering of masajid in Southern California. Throughout the year. In every year, that's the case. This is the only forum where you will have this many masajid. And of course, we try to aim as much as possible more. But your feedback is definitely considered and taken seriously, inshallah. All right, any more? So let's move on quickly, as the rep mentioned about youth. I think that equalizes a good segment. So where involvement of whether it's youth, rivers, sisters, any people you would like to get involved in Shura Council is simply in one word, nomination. Please nominate there. We are willing to talk for a lot on the getting you involved, sisters, but when it comes to nominating, nobody has this. We both, Brother Riaz and myself, who were on the election committee, we were literally begging Islamic centers, please nominate young people, please nominate sisters, please nominate your board. Nobody has anyone to nominate. So please convince you. You have convinced us to involve you, but it's time for you to convince the youth to join us. Convince sisters to join us. There are highly educated, highly talented people in Southern California, one of the most talented community in the country. Highly educated, intellectual people with a passion for community service. Please nominate. And this is the time. The nomination has already been announced by Sister Elaine. There is a form. Please fill that out. You can fill out any community person that can represent a member organization. And this is for the board of the Shura Council. And I believe the dates have also been announced. Both an email if you want to. And I'll request Sister Elaine
to repeat that as much as possible, inshallah. We are willing to make phone calls, emails, messages, whatever it takes to get as many nominees as possible. Once the nomination is made, then they have to accept it. So, once they have accepted it, then we reach out to the board of their visiting organization, for them. And once that happens, then they are part of the election process, and in the next general body, we will have the election. So our entire timeline is guided by governance. It's very strict, and it doesn't give a lot of time, mainly to avoid any kind of campaigning or things like that. We have a strict timeline, so I urge you to do that. With that, I will also request volunteers officially on behalf of the board. By the you're supposed to appeal to the general body for volunteers. So anyone who is willing to volunteer for our election committee, we do have 4 people already, but we have to officially request that. So please volunteer. And this is for the committee that will the entire election process. So we have 3 positions in the committee, and anyone who would like to volunteer. And last year, one new thing that we did to encourage more people to join is we have 2 committees, a nomination committee and an election committee. The nomination committee is in charge of reaching out to the nominees, urging them to join, and the whole nomination process, and then there was the election committee as well. So if there are no questions on the election committee, I would like to hand the mic to Brother Muliku, I think, for the scripting. And while the scripted recording is going on, we will have the member announcements. So you have about 30 seconds to make any announcement on behalf of your masjid or organization.
So we'll have to do the member announcements run right on through 30 seconds per person. Yeah. We will be sending out the forms directly to each of the organizations, so it's,
PDF.
It's a
PDF.
PDF, an online form.
Okay, and so there might be there are 3 positions that will be open. And based on the nominations of eligible candidates, those 3 positions will be inshallah filled on December 13th. Within this board meeting. So this timeline is to get the nominations in, to reach out to organizations, to support those candidates, to see the bios of the statements of the candidates, to disseminate that information to all of the members, so that you can come prepared for meeting to make a determination as to which of those candidates you would like to vote for.
Explain what is, what you board members, workers, and also a lot of stuff. What is a lot of stuff? What is the time commitment? Per month, because everybody here has a full-time job. So what would be that?
Commitment for the board members. So it's a voluntary position. We have 2 meetings in a month. One is an online Zoom meeting that lasts about 1.5, rarely 2 hours. And then one is in-person meeting that runs about 1.5 hours as well at the office of Shore Council in the city of Orange. These are the 2 meetings, and then the other commitment is the quarterly general assembly, general body meeting, which is like today. That's the other commitment. And then thirdly would be special events like a bank, which is once a year commitment. Any work related to that, any video or anything related to it. So these are definitely required. Apart from these, there will be committees based on your interest, based on your availability. For example, the committee on this, that was an ad hoc committee that was formed. Previously, we had formed committees for the fires, Los Angeles fires for food and so on. So we had different committees, ad hoc committees. Then we have operational committees, marketing, finance, and so on. Then we have, our, entities like the COP program, MSN program, open master, so on. So all these committees depend on your availability and your desire, where you would like to work. But the meetings that I mentioned earlier are the minimum, time.
So you're saying 3 to 4 hours a month, and then a quarter would be that week. That's the last thing I'm gonna pictures of them there, Diana, currently going out and talking to that require.
That's not a requirement, what you just said earlier, that is the minimum, obligation as per the bylaws. But of course, in the absence of the executive director and minimal staff, we try as much as possible to step in. We are an advisory board, but we act, as an executive board, because of the short staff. As much as this. Okay, so that concludes our election process. So please reach out to me or anyone on the board if you're interested in joining the election committee. And as furthermore mentioned, 3 board positions will be open on this election. All right, so we will start the microphone. Start. And then we come. So brother, we will be giving the mic, so you have about 30 seconds for any of your event items.
Which I'm gonna walk around in the normal, just want to remind you, the normal will be at 1:15. And then thereafter will be less, so thank you for the hospitality. So between now and then, we have to accomplish this quick round of announcements, but then we also immediately after that, in, let's say 5-6 minutes, we'll gather in this room. Ronnie is gonna take a video clip of us collectively reciting or saying this statement, all voices together. And then I'd like you will also hang out and chat with anyone online and just quickly one at a time go through to you. All right, so we want to be having for 1:15 or 1:10 so you can almost if you need to move on and you can do that before the first starts. So, Nancy, would you like to have a Thanks. So at the moment, if you will do a proper 1 minute or less, please.
That's all I, can you start to working with helping hands for safety development? We're an international relief organization that stays back and helps further after disaster has been taken care of. Some disasters are lasting longer, like Gaza and other places. So we would like your support, especially, inshallah, Ramadan is coming soon, and New Year is coming, hopefully, campaigns coming out. If anyone has any questions or would like to continue with that. Also, if we can secure a place in Ramadan, with your measure, that would be much appreciated. Send it on. She's I'm my name is Shahida. I'm we are representing a new organization called WISER, Weekend Islamic School Education Resources. We are one of a kind. It is the first organization to have the weekend Islamic schools in all over the United States. Under gender WISER. Our vision is every Muslim child has access to high quality education programs and learn about Islam. And that is why we are in the process of becoming members of Shura Council so that we can help the weekend schools to do better, to be more qualified, because usually weekend schools are need based and they're run by people who are dedicated, but they're not really qualified and trained. So our organization will go out and train the teachers in your Sunday schools, and that is why I would like to request all the masajid we have the weekend schools and their masjids to work with them, ask them to become members of Wisely. We have a website, they can become members, and once they become members, and they have access to a lot stuff that we provide professional development, we also provide certification, which is again, one of the main, because none of the weekend schools are certified. So we come up with 9 standards, and we work with the schools once they become a member to help them to improve the quality so that our children can get best sound education. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Shaista Javed, sitting here the nonprofit organization Home. We are a 501c3 charity for education and relief. We offer tuition-free programs to students in kindergarten through high school. We are located in Anaheim. We have a unique. We also network with other organizations like Islamic Pastor Foundation, and SMC to bring in all the resources that we can bring from these organizations. And all these services are provided to the low income students for free. It's provided to all actually for free, whoever comes to our brothers. We teach academic classes, Saturdays, academic classes. So through like with the Chapel School as well as we run a really strong religious studies program as well. So Alhamdulillah, please check our newsletter. If you not subscribe to one, please subscribe to our on social media, Facebook or Instagram, TikTok. And we have a full benefit coming up at 7 in months. Yeah, showing in the next. So so
And we do some of that. We opened our store in 30 years. This is what I do for a living. Alhamdulillah, we purchased 17 acres of acre show. We built 10,000 movies. So we have a big project when we're working at Sunrise Community Center that we're going to share with you guys if you want us to come in. It's more importantly, if there's anyone here that needs assistance with real estate, development, rezone, funerals, or anything of that sort, not your service, just at the moment.
we should keep you, in our contact database for as a resource for supporting the community. Assalamualaikum. Yang talk about international day challenges volunteer. This November, if you want to discuss but the law of the Muslim higher was accepted from Jonas, then we training it with at 25 volunteers. From my class level, it's a truly international experience. And you have volunteers from UK, US, it's not you 24. So look at us. I'm going to say, it is our responsibility, is for Masajid, open your doors to every organization at least twice a year. Once in Ramadan, once in the middle of the year. Please help this organization. There is nothing is that you ask from your masjid. It's Saxino, there are not years like people now, because. USB. So, one of the most keys of what I will do, USA, especially, mostly, most of the, should have, the more we do that, most of the society. So this stability maybe was within the balance of the business. And programs, we are not working together, back in India, we are working with the investments to bring it. Because we are activities. So my request is people we are going to be communities, where are communities, families and nationals, you have to address. It's a very simple website, there is whatever. So you can, well.
Yeah.
So I could like this, not more than the executive director. It's the whole reach for, move for short. Basically, our goal is very simple. Our objective is to make sure that they not get used. Learns to keep their risk identity in the United States and be successful in life, and teaching them on career selection, education programs, college opportunities. And also we do cultural orientations for the group students that came to the United States. And also we try to help connect them with the Muslim Ummah large into their Muslim. And also we have invested in purchasing thousands of Holy Quran translation in very simple language so that people can benefit from it. So anybody here must subjects that know of any wrong thing.
So now I'll talk about the mission. It's so basically humanitarian organization, and we have many families from refugees and unprivileged low-income families with rent, with food. We 400, 500 families every month. My request to all Masajid, we try to do programs like what we call it mind, body, and spirit, focusing on mental health, but it's connected with every aspect because all connected to have a healthy human being
without any other costs. So we try to go to different massages to open their place free for having with, except for Corona, they always offer their mystery free for us. For other massages, they ask for fee. And I invite all massages to offer their for free because we do service to everyone. That's all I have to share.
Give us a bit of a workshop on how to prepare. Yeah, so we're training them workshops in class of the moment, so it is like. Some
For the model data, we have, two programs that are mentioned here that, cooperate with the Sajid across Southern California as well as Islam, which is Federal. We provide everyone training and also organize that teams to distribute, information and literature as well as blogs. And then also we have Embrace, which is a convert support program. We run hackathons and women to the conference team and provided with support that they need. Lastly, we have a competition that we're organizing for children, Islamic knowledge competition. More details to be announced soon, but only early next year. Last year, we had about 15 discussion. So we look forward to increasing that number next year. If you'd like to work with us on any of these, please talk to me or
But we're sure council has a weekly newsletter. These programs that you're announcing, please make sure to send and take an ad in the newsletter so that we can disseminate this information to, I don't know, how many 13,000 people are on the email list, something like that, so. It's important to share here to the leadership, but also if you want to reach individuals, that might be a good deal.
No, he's asking for local for Islamic Community USA. That's my first time here in the main face. Hopefully you're in this space, so please look to me for some pretty related things, but also youth related things, inshallah. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update of our PCD event happening on November 22nd. We're bringing out a Pakistan, what they went to our some open program. She's talking about her experience. She's also active in one us. Under that, we have an amazing support for the community in terms of raising funds for the organization, for the event, but we actually need more TVs for the event, inshallah. I just want to show the entire Islamic Community USA that we're the best in the region of the United States, inshallah. So please join us November 22nd, Saturday, the week before Thanksgiving. So,
Assalamualaikum, this is Lisa with the American Muslim Community Foundation. We're working on behalf of Muslims and the plans of the organization of doing as part of a national day to Muslims. Nominations are now open. I'll put in the chat. You're going to nominate an organization, board member, volunteer, fundraiser, or national recognition. For doing so. Thank you.
on the last, we have the WhatsApp group as well. So on any of these announcements that you can repeat, please use the WhatsApp group. And if you are not part of it, please join the WhatsApp group. And for those who are online, you're welcome to share on WhatsApp.
Thank you. This is Mahmoud Hamoud, the Religious Director of the Islamic Center of Progress. We are lately initiating a prison program inspired by the brothers in the rest of the country. Here's an invite, inshallah. If you have anyone that you know of in prison, the invite, we are going to help and support them, inshallah. And we have the open mosque on the 19th of the month. Thank you very much. Thank you again to Human Appeal for sponsoring this meeting today. I think we all gave better appreciation of the work and we appreciate all of the humanitarian organizations that will respect and expertise. Inshallah, we have greater confidence so that we can ensure that we open the facilities and will be possible for our communities to support the great work of human organizations. So what we'll do is after informally concluding the moment, we'll take a vote shot maybe against that background so everyone can come into the system. We're just gonna do a lineup. We'll at least get that info. Yeah, so we'll do that and then we'll do that for the moment. After we come back from the break, it's time we'll figure out how to capture the individual sheets.
Jazakallah khair. So we will have the closing and the dua. Including please sign up for the payments and the sponsorship. Please make sure you attend. If you're not attending, please nominate somebody from your organization to attend. Please nominate people for the board. We're looking forward to your nominations. And I request that the non-participants who is heading on our program for the concluding rules.
So for us in this so when we think of the this is all reason to the there's really belong to acceptance in us taking care of the affairs of our community, rescue acceptance. So each and every one of those who are able to attend and address the two that you was you and everybody coming.